It's Deprogram, the podcast where we try to get you into a band. That's right. We've done all the work for you. All you have to do is press play and listen. And my name is Justin. I almost moved on to my next thought before saying that. My name is Justin. I am you can call me band curious because I am indeed curious, curious about bands. Easy enough for me to say. In case you're wondering, I am recording this as I ready for our Thin Lizzy episode. So scatterbrained a little bit as I try to get it in before we do that, so I can have it uploaded and ready to go by the time you listen to this. None of these things that are coming out of my mouth will matter. I guess a couple quick notes before I get to what I'm talking about briefly today. So number one, really appreciate the feedback I'm getting on these dailies. It seems that you all may enjoy me cutting out stuff that has come from the After the Facts. Joe texted me today and said that, yesterday when you're listening to this, Joe texted me and said that it's a good way to grab content for these dailies. And number one, I agree. And number two, it is something that I did try to keep in mind. Like, I wanted to use the After the Fact conversations to feed these well before I started doing them. And then really, in true Justin fashion, the After the Facts come and we really just kind of talk. And that's not to say that there isn't things that I could pull from them, but without being pointed and knowing exactly what I'm going in for, and then knowing exactly where those conversations happened, it just is not likely to happen that way. Like, we did a list contested for Pixies. I can dig that up. That shouldn't be too difficult because it was the After the Fact for our Frank Black episode. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find that. Other than that, I don't know that there is another After the Fact that I could pull. I think we did a one-off once. Another thing that we did that I'd have to go back for, I can't remember what we called it, but we basically did, I think I chopped it up for a before After the Fact. I don't know if I took the whole conversation, but we basically did we found a random artist and then basically did a listen to like 10 seconds or whatever and decided whether we were going to keep listening. I can't remember what we called it. Give it a chance or something like that. If that's something that would interest you in one of these dailies, I can for sure try to dig that up. I remember I called the After the Fact with apologies to Mado because that was the artist that we stumbled on. I just can't remember the how. I can't remember like the how that was set up. So that's something that could get brought here if that is something you're interested in. But I do appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting about these dailies. I also would like to take the time to say that since today is Wednesday, if you guys would like a Q&A this week, I would need the questions either by this evening or tomorrow AM so I can record it, before Friday. Otherwise, I may be just kind of digging into the well and kind of moving to the idea of moving Earworm Wednesday to Friday because I won't be doing Earworm Wednesday today. I don't know. We'll figure that out. If I get any questions, I'll answer them and we'll tackle that. That's a Justin problem, not a you, the listener problem. But I would like to point that out. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer them and go ahead and put those in the Discord or on Threads, wherever you choose to get a hold of me. I'm going to be kind of brief with what we're actually talking about today because it's another letter to Peter, and I had no intention of doing another one of these so soon. Last week I did the one, it made sense because we had just come back from the pizza party and it made sense to talk about that. But something came up today that, as has been happening, made me really want to talk to Peter. And a couple weeks ago, Andrew asked me about, had I gone back and listened to any of the newer Failure records, and I had started working my way through those, but then I kind of cranked up my work for Deprogrammed and kind of got buried in some of those artists. But Peter, today I woke up and I went, I'm perusing social media, and one of the first things that pops up, because I've been on such a Failure kick, and because Failure has a new record, I've been on high alert. And today their new single, or yes, let's stop playing the time hop game. When I recorded this, I woke up and in my timeline was a single released by Failure featuring Hayley Williams of Paramore. And God, I want to talk to you about that so bad, because I think you'd be pretty fired up about that. I am psyched. And I can't act like it came out of nowhere. I can act like I didn't see it coming. But it doesn't come out of nowhere, because Hayley showed up on a podcast episode like a month and a half, 2 months ago. I want to say it was before her episode of Good Hang with Amy Poehler. So it would have been a good couple months ago at this point. But she was listing kind of her, bands that she was into, and Failure came up. Like, she name-checked Failure. So, like, I'm not shocked that she would be on a Failure song, but it is like the timing of it was like, just, of course they're releasing a record, and of course Hayley Williams is massive right now. So it makes sense that they would have her. It makes sense that would be the next single released, and it's a great song. I didn't have enough time to listen to it to like be able to dissect it here. But man, I think you'd be fired up about Failure having a new song with Hayley. And I'm really looking forward. I think the record actually came out today. They just also released the single. So I've got some listening to do, and I'm sure once I listen to it, I may have to talk to you again about Failure's new record, or I might talk to Andrew about it, just as a kind of, hey, this is what we didn't cover when we did Failure last time. But I love you, man, and obviously we miss you, because here we are talking to you again. So I love you, man, and y'all, I will talk to you all. Well, today's Wednesday, so tomorrow there's an episode out. We'll talk to you all Friday. Bye.